Samurai code, ninja shadows, hidden techniques, two weapons born of necessity, deception, and skill. The understated iron fan, the Tessen, and the fearsome chain-sickle, the Kusarigama. Which one rules the duel? Today we dive deep into Tessen versus Kusarigama. History, technique, strength, weakness, and which you'd rather face in the arena of blades. Let's start with what they are. What makes them more than myth? Part 1. Historical origins. The Kusarigama literally means chain plus sickle. Originally, kama were farming tools, chains and weights were used in other contexts. Over time, combining these forms produced a weapon capable of reach, entanglement, and lethal close work. By the Muromachi period, Kusarigama was already recognized. Schools like Isshin-ryu Kusarigamajutsu preserved techniques. Practitioners trained both flails of chain and fierce sickle strikes. On the other hand, the Tessen, literally, the war fan, can be folding or solid, often disguised as an innocuous fan. Used by samurai as signaling devices, status symbols, and in close combat. Schools taught Tessenjutsu. The fan could block arrows, deflect blades, hide in plain sight. Part 2. Design, parts, and physical properties. Kusarigama has 3 basic parts: the kama, the kusari, and the fundo. Chain length, blade shape, weight all vary by school and intended use. Longer chain equals more reach and danger, but more unwieldy. Shorter equals quicker, but riskier in close quarters. Tessen design, sometimes solid slabs of iron or plated ribs disguised as normal fan ribs. Less reach than Kusarigama, but tremendously quick, compact, concealable. Able to parry, block, jam, even strike. They had to balance effectiveness with concealment. Part 3. Techniques and use in combat. Kusarigama technique often starts with wide swinging of the chain and weighted ball to keep distance, distract, or entangle. Once the chain is engaged around limbs, weapon shafts, or body, the user closes in with the sickle for slicing or hooking attacks. There's also defensive chaining to disarm. Risk. If the chain catches nothing, it can be dangerous to the user. Terrain matters. A bamboo grove or tight corridor kills chain usage. With the Tessen, speed and deception are key. A Tessen user might pretend to be unarmed, wielding what looks like a fan. Then when confronted with a sword or thrown projectile, the fan becomes shield, then weapon. Parry, block, counter-strike. Because it's much lighter and smaller than Kusarigama, motion is faster, attack angles unpredictable. So in a duel, Kusarigama gives you reach, zone control, entanglement. Tessen gives you mobility, stealth, fast counters, less vulnerability if opponent tries to close you down. Part 4. Strengths, weaknesses, and tactical comparison. Let's compare. Kusarigama. Strengths: great reach and range via chain and weight. Ability to disable opponent's arms or weapon. Powerful sweeping attacks. Surprise: many styles specialized. Rare weapons, hard to predict. Weaknesses: requires space to swing. Tight environment is disaster. Chain can be snagged, tangled, or blocked. Slow recovery if you miss with chain or weight. Heavier to train with, dangerous to self. Tessen strengths: compact, concealed, light. Quick reflexive defense, parry arrows, darts, deflect sword blow. Ideal in close quarters or indoors. Versatility: can be thrown or used as blunt instrument. Weaknesses: short reach opponent with longer blade or chain can overwhelm, less lethal in sweeping attacks, cutting power limited. Requires precision and timing, mistakes easily punished. Less intimidating visually, sometimes underestimated. Tactically, if you are in a courtyard, field, open space, Kusarigama wins more often. But in corridors, indoors, or when surprise counts Tessen might dominate. Also, training level matters heavily. A skilled Tessen user can parry then close, or even disarm larger weapon bearers. Part 5. Legacy, Schools, and Modern Culture. Today, both weapons survive mostly in martial arts schools, demonstrations, kata, and historical reenactment. Isshin Ryu Kusarigamajutsu remains a preserved school. Tessenjutsu is still taught to a few experts. They also live on in fiction movies, anime, video games love the drama of a chain flail versus a hidden iron fan. The fantasy and spectacle often exaggerate their power, but they do immortalize technique and artistry. Part 6. Who would win? Hypothetical matchups. So, who would win in a duel, Iron Fan or Chain-Sickle? Scenario 1. Open field, fair daylight. Kusarigama has the edge chain reach, whipping weight, distance control. Scenario 2. Inside a castle corridor at night, low light. Tessen user could nullify chain swing, close gap, surprise with fan parry and strike. Scenario 3. Balanced fighter skill, both knowing opponent's weapon. Then small advantages, exhaust from swinging chain, fatigue versus arms. Tessen must avoid being entangled. Kusarigama must avoid close rapid strikes. It often comes down to environment, plus user skill, not just the weapon itself. Conclusion and call to action. In feudal Japan, weapons weren't just tools. They were extensions of strategy, environment, identity. The Iron Fan and Chain-Sickle represent two ends of that spectrum: concealment and audacity, subtlety and spectacle. Neither is universally superior. Each shines in the right moment. Which do you think you'd pick? Iron Fan or Chain-Sickle? Let me know in the comments. And if you liked this breakdown, follow for more deep dives into weapon lore, martial arts, and battle tactics from the past. Stay sharp, stay curious,